Welcome. This video will accompany the mouse critter worksheet instructions in my Etsy shop listing. Let's start first with a plastic egg. It could be any size. It will be slippery by itself, so it needs to be covered with a piece of paper napkin. But first, pour your liquid starch into a small container. Now you can twist a little piece at the end. That closes it up and will be the beginning of a tail. Use the liquid starch to smooth over the entire surface. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, use these little shapes to form the facial features. You're going to have 2 cheeks. Dampen them with liquid starch and press them onto the egg. Keep them moistened with the liquid starch. Now the nose is going to be a little cone. Press it into place gently. Make sure they're not sliding. Dampen everything with the liquid starch and press it into place until it looks the way you want it. Then cover it with pieces of dampened paper napkin. Now let's add the ears. Place them however you like. You could still rearrange them if they are damp. Cover them with paper napkin strips, dampen with liquid starch, and reinforce them by adding napkin pieces to give them strength. You want to cover the ears entirely and shape them a little more, however you like. It's starting to come together. What do you think? I think it's moving along just fine, but take your time and make sure that you let it dry in between applications. I like to use a little milk bottle cap as a stand, and it helps to stabilize the egg while I'm working on it. And you can use something similar because you don't want the egg to topple over. Now let's make the tail a little bit longer. You can add another piece of twisted paper napkin to it. And we'll move on to working on the legs. There will be 2 front legs and 2 hind legs. And you simply twist the paper into little strips, but you're going to fill them in and add bulk to them, pressing them into place, using, of course, the liquid starch and pieces of paper napkin. You can see here how I do it. You can add more or less according to your tastes. And you can make the legs shorter if you want. But this is how I made it, because this is a fantasy little creature. You make it any way you want. You can take breaks whenever you like and come back to your project. By the way, I wanted to mention that you should find a nice drying spot for it, in front of a fan or maybe a sunny window. Allow these legs to dry. Once the legs are dry, you'll be ready to place them onto the egg. Now dab them with a little bit of liquid starch and press them on either side of the egg, however you like, but make sure that the egg does not topple over. Allow them to dry. Cover the entire area, including your tail, with copier paper. dampened with the liquid starch, and smooth it all over. This will give it a smoother coat and add extra strength, and also a nice surface that could be painted. You can make 2 little balls for the eyes or add little beads if you prefer. Now let's add a little forehead, fill it in with some paper napkin pieces and liquid starch, and cover that up as well. Look how nicely the face has taken shape. Now, you can let it dry, and when it does, you can begin to draw on it or paint it and add details. Thank you for being here with me, and please let me know how you did through an Etsy Convo. I'd love to hear from you.